PDN News Updates. Here is Jarek Sablon from our PDN Newsroom. This is brought to you by our sponsor, KFC Guam.
Senators will go into another special session at 9 a.m. Tuesday at Governor Lou Leon Guerrero's request to once again try to pass a bill seeking to remedy problems caused by the Office of the Attorney General's withdrawal of legal representation for 22 government of Guam agencies that it's currently investigating. Acting Speaker Tina Munya Barnes, in her memo, said that the special session would be solely to consider and vote on a bill that the governor has proposed and which she believes the public interest requires. The bill seeks to authorize GovGuam agencies to acquire legal services during pendency of court actions involving the AG's potential conflict of interest. Attorney General Douglas Moylan earlier notified 22 GovGuam agencies that he's temporarily withdrawing from representing them. The National Weather Service Guam Weather Forecast Office said gusty winds and dry conditions will likely cause a high fire threat. A fire weather watch remains in effect through Tuesday evening for Guam. East winds of 15 to 25 miles per hour with gusts around 30 miles per hour and humidity at 50 to 60% during the day are expected. Any fires at the belt will likely spread rapidly. Isakmani Finota, a groundbreaking website with an all-Chamorro language content, started when the founder saw a need for content in the native language of the Marianas. I wanted to take my Chamorro language learning to the next level during the pandemic, but there was not enough Chamorro language content that was easily accessible, Benny Anderson told the Pacific Daily News. That's how www.isakman.com was born. The website idea came during the pandemic while Anderson was taking Michael Lujan Bavacla's free online Zoom Chamorro language classes, and he wanted to practice between classes. I researched online how to learn a second language. Some of the suggestions included daily reading and writing in the target language, Anderson said. He bought Chamorro language books from the Guam Bus, UOG Press, and Guampedia. The selection was limited, and he bought most of them and wanted more reading content. There were a few Chamorro language websites on the internet, but most were related to basic Chamorro language learning. But Anderson was looking for more stories, poems, and other writings in the Chamorro language for daily reading practice. Someone has to ensure that government agencies are following the law when they go out to spend public money, according to Public Auditor Benjamin B.J. Cruz, whether that be the Attorney General or an independent attorney hired by government agencies. Attorney General Douglas Moylan's recent withdrawal from representing 22 government of Guam agencies that he is also investigating has sparked concern from the administration about how any government purchase over $500,000, which legally needs the approval of the AG, will move forward. Moylan's proposed workaround where his office signs off on procurement for the agencies under investigation even though he is not acting as legal counsel has received pushback from Madalu. That has to be moved a little faster so that we can get contracts in and out and keep the government moving, Cruz told the Pacific Daily News on Monday. The public auditor, who pushed for the mandatory review by the AG back when he was a senator in 2010, said the point of that review was to ensure that GovGuam agencies follow the law before they go out and spend public money. As the 2024 election season approaches, the Department of Public Works issued a reminder to all political candidates, political proponents, and opponents of the law regulating posting of political signs. DPW said Guam law limits political sign installation to private property only within the following zones: residential and agricultural zones, commercial zones, and industrial zones. If the private property is adjacent to any roadway, political signs shall be at least 8 feet from the paved portion of the roadway and posted in such a manner that would not impede traffic or driver's visibility, DPW said in a press release. DPW said it will be monitoring the installation locations and will be conducting enforcement. Attorney General Douglas Moylan says his office continues to review major contracts for over 20 government agencies that his office is investigating. But the AG's proposed workaround is not acceptable for the Leon Guerrero Tenorio administration, according to Adelup spokesperson Crystal Paco San Agustin. Adelup has asserted that millions of dollars worth of critical government contracts and federal funding have been put at risk since Moylan withdrew from representing agencies his office has been investigating, pending court rulings on alleged conflicts of interest in 2 government corruption cases that his office has been prosecuting. Moylan on Monday called it a disinformation campaign and said his office has continued reviewing major government contracts over $500,000 as required by law. The only difference, he said, is that contracts from agencies under investigation are now stamped with a disclaimer noting his office is not doing the review as their attorney, a workaround got devised. For more of these stories, log on to GuamPDN.com and follow us on social media.